That's right. Wow. Okay. Wow. A new segment alert. How exciting is that?
So tell us a little bit about the new segment. Tell us.
The new segment is Alan explains specific post-merger Square and/or Enix non-playable characters, Tonberry edition.
Tonberry
with special correspondent me.
Wait, so
Alan Resnick.
Can you explain exactly what the title means?
Yes, so the title means Alan explains specific post-merger Square and/or Enix non-playable character, Tonberry edition. So I'm just going to be explaining this non-playable.
What's the S?
Square. That's Square. Square is a company.
Square is a company. There's two companies. Well, they're now a larger company, aren't they?
Well, that's yes, and yes. So part of my report is specifically about Mr. Tonberry.
Okay. Before you get into Tonberry, I just want to point out that we are discussing these companies. One company that has merged, two companies that have merged, that's Square and Enix, and two companies that have not merged, being Night Dive and Pico.
No, this is about the company Square and Enix merging.
We're not condoning any sort of mergers between Square and Enix because they've already happened. Take it away, Al.
They've already merged, and I'm focusing on Tonberry, who's a character from the Square side of the merger. Mr. Tonberry, I presume. You heard right. I'm talking about the one and only Tonberry, an adorable but deadly reoccurring enemy from the Final Fantasy series. Tonberry is not just one character, but that's actually the name of a kind of creature called the Tonberries.
Oh my God! Look, there's 6 of them. Is that 5 or 6?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Tonberries.
Incredible! How did they get that many Tonberries onto one screen? You ask.
I don't know. That's a question for the employees on the Square side of the Square Enix merger, because as far as I could tell, Tonberries have never occurred on an Enix. They occurred in Final Fantasy, which started with Square.
Are Tonberries the slime of the Final Fantasy franchise? You know how the slime is sort of the emblematic Dragon Quest.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But Tonberry is cute, like a slime. It is a cute kind of Japanese character. Wears a little hood. Is it
cute because it's Japanese, Alan? Because I think that's a fairly problematic statement.
I wouldn't say a thing like that. I don't say problematic things. I mean, it is cute it is in the style of. It is from Japan, and it is cute, and it was made by a Japanese company, Square. So it's just.
Square Enix.
Square first, and then merged. Then there was a merger that happened, and the merger was actually the result of a failed film called The Spirits Within, which I went to see with my father in theaters, and I thought it was quite a magnificent film. But apparently,
quite a magnificent film. What was that? What was it? What happened?
Well,
what happened in the movie?
James Woods was in the movie, and they spent a lot of money animating James, trying to get the mannerisms of James Woods perfectly animated, and it cost them more money. People didn't see. I saw it with my dad. I don't know, and I loved it, but other people didn't love it. They didn't see it, and this game company touched their toes into Tinseltown, and they tripped, and they splashed in the pool, and they didn't make money. But anyways, back to Tonberry. He wears a hood, and he carries a lantern and a knife. And you got to be careful because of that knife. Tonberry made his first appearance in Final Fantasy V and has been in every Final Fantasy game since.
Now, Final Fantasy V is the one that was that the one that introduced the jobs system, or was that Final Fantasy III? Being the real Final Fantasy III, not Final Fantasy VI. I always get those two mixed up, 3 and 5. I think it's the numbers. They're 3 and 5 are very similar numbers when you really break them down.
Yes, 3 and 5 are close. And Final Fantasy V, I don't know about what it introduced, about jobs, but it introduced Tonberry. And people went nuts for Tonberry, so Tonberry kept showing up. And I guess you could say there isn't much to talk. That's all you can say about Tonberry, and there's not much else to talk about Tonberry.
Lunar Pangolin in the chat says...
Back to you, Robby.
Back to you, Alan. Lunar Pangolin says, I forgot James Woods was in that movie. Always too distracted by Steve Buscemi, Alec Baldwin, and Ving Rhames. I mean, that's what a blockbuster cast that was.
And I think it might be worth getting that gang back together and see if they wanted to do a follow-up and maybe not even do it in 3D anymore, because real life has kind of caught up to graphics.
And obviously we could just shoot in sort of a sound stage. And have the gang hang out and get into trouble, go on lots of adventures, spend some time. You know, that's the problem with Final Fantasy Spirits Within, is because as I recall, it's, you know, no time was spent, just the characters just hanging out, shooting the breeze, going through their inventories. And figuring out what they should sell, they should drop, or what they should upgrade. If they had any upgrades that they could put, like materia, that they could put into their weapons.
That would be great if they had materia. And I don't even know if there is a problem with that movie, but I think if they added the addition of maybe a Tonberry, that would have been a fun little thing. And I think, maybe you could have voiced the Tonberry.
I think that the voice of the Tonberry has to be deep. It has to be hard and long. It has to be just like a voice from out of the ether.
Can you do the voice? Robby, do the voice.
I can't. All right. Well, let's see. What's the kind of thing a Tonberry would say? Tonberry comes across. This just in, Tonberry comes across the adventurers from Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within, Ving Rhames, Alec Baldwin, Steve Buscemi, and James Woods. Take it away, Tonberry. Okay. Tonberry says, "What's up? Why are you in my woods? Did you just leave the bar to come into my woods to use the bathroom because the bathroom in the bar was full?" And now you can be all the other characters.
And James Woods would have said, "Yes, I left. The bathroom was full, so that's why I left."
All four of you. So both the men's room and the women's room were full, and if there was a unisex bathroom, you weren't gonna even. I guess you wouldn't even try. So you came out into my woods. We assume Tonberry lives in the woods, don't we, Alan?
We do assume that about Tonberry.
Okay, so Tonberry's very upset that all of these adventurers are using the restroom in the woods. Maybe they're sort of getting they're making a big mess of all of his potted plants.
Yes. Do you want me?
So
I want.
Tonberry says you guys are making a big mess of my potted plants. So it's time for you guys to sober up, ship out. You are some sort of space marine fantasy force, much like the fantasy sci-fi space marine crossover characters in Escape or Die Trying, the wonderful remastered third-person action-adventure game from Pico Interactive.
And now I'm going to do James Woods, and I'm going to do a better job. Hey, I don't give one damn about whose woods I'm in. I piss where I want, man. So back off.
Hey, man. Look, I've dealt with a lot of things in my life. I'm a little guy. I've always been small. I've always had the lantern and the knife, and I've just patrolled my potted plants from the moment that I was a smaller Tonberry to the much more normally sized Tonberry that I am now. So I am not going to take any guff from you drunks, because when you come into the woods, you have to respect the fact that these woods could have been around for hundreds of millions of years. And the fact that you are just coming out here doing whatever you want just instills in me the fact that you people, you adventurers, don't really give a damn about the environment, that you don't care about my life, that you're very self-centered is the issue here. So I would like for you guys to head on out.
And then James Woods, and then Steve Buscemi says, I guess there's a spirit within Tonberry and everything, including Mother Earth.
Yes, and it's also called mana. So back to you, Alan. What a wonderful report on Tonberry.
Thank you.
Let's take a quick break, and then we will be right back with more of our living coverage. It's EGI's exclusive living coverage of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning right here on Electronic Game Information. Don't miss a beat. We'll be right back.